Well, greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes dad, Nooch Too Good, and it's that time of the week again where we get back to ranking our factions. We have ranked the Bounty Hunters, the Sith, the Jedi. We have ranked the online Force users. Last week, we ranked the Rebels. It got released at a weird time, and I think some of you guys missed that, so if you haven't seen the Rebel ranking, go check that out. I'll throw a pin up there at top, and we'll put a link in there at the end of this video, too. Just check out Ranking the Rebels if you haven't seen it. It's worth it. It's well, everything. If I'm doing it, it's worth the watch. I don't know what that noise was, but here we are today to rank the Empire in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. This is once again a deep, thoroughly filled up faction in the game, and I don't think we're gonna have much in this Banana Campudu area. I'm not sure we're gonna have much going on there at all, but let's get started right now. CX2, I think we're gonna put the entire group of new clones in the Admiral section for now, especially for 2026. As we look at, they are needed for the raid with Tarkin. They form two different teams, 3v3, 5v5 for Grand Arena. They are the team that goes with Lord Vader, who is, we'll spoiler alert, he's the best Empire character in the game. They, on their own, they're not doing a whole lot of stuff, but I just can't take these clones out of the Admiral section because of what they do and the team that they're involved with, or teams they're involved with. Also, CX2 is a guy in 3v3 that if you can't somehow get rid of CX2, your Darth Bane can lose to a Lord Vader. I've proven that. I'm good at proving things. Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, boys and girls. This one is one that I'm not super duper. I don't really get much out of this character. I don't think he's not going into Bananakin territory here yet. But I'm going to put him down here, Princess General, toward the bottom. He is a conquest proving grounds character, but when you see him on defense, when he first came out, he had to do some stuff to get around him, but once people learned him, he's not that difficult to overcome in Grand Arena, so I'm putting Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. He probably needs a lifter. Maybe he'll get some stuff with the upcoming Mando movie. We'll have to find out. Dark Trooper itself, I like Dark Trooper a lot, and I have to point out that out of the Imperial Troopers, actually, out of almost any character in the game, as far as a character that just deals true damage and not critting, maybe, I don't even know if he deals true damage, just a damage dealer, doesn't really crit on the basic, and just like one-shots entire characters or wipes out all of their health or all their protection in the right situation, on the right team. And oh, by the way, Dark Trooper, unlike an Imperial Trooper team, if you're cleaning up a Galactic Legend, this is the guy doing all the damage on the Galactic Legend. So it's not quite Admiral status to me, because he's really got to be on the right team, but just high Princess General action right there. Darth Vader corrupted. What did we call him? Darth Vader helmet broken. I can't remember. Let me take a look while you guys are looking at this. Darth Vader. Let me type it in here. Vader. Duel's End is what we're looking for there, boys and girls. Duel's End. Darth Vader Duel's End may be sliding into Admiral at some point. We are still very new in the Darth Vader Duel's End phase of the game. I had not heard a lot of amazing reports. It does seem like he's an offensive character only with that Palpatine team, kind of replacing Starkiller. I'm putting him in Princess General for now. We'll see if he moves around, based on later. Darth Vader, here's a character that, on the right team has potential. I would love to put Darth Vader in the Admiral slot in this game, but I can't. When Merciless Massacre first came out on Darth Vader, it was a massive rework. Darth Vader was a completely useless character in this game for multiple years. Merciless Massacre comes out, and all of a sudden, he's killing all sorts of stuff. Then, a couple years later, they nerfed Merciless Massacre, and they nerfed Darth Vader because he would have been too powerful on the Lord Vader team. And now he just sits here right in the middle, maybe toward the top middle. I don't even know if he's top middle. He can go on an Afra team, although IG-90 will be there now. He can go on a Traya team and do some things with Traya because there's a lot of damage output when he's with Traya. just generally speaking, you've got to really pick specific spots to put Darth Vader. This doesn't fit into a lot of places in the game right now. Death Trooper. I am going to go down to Bananakin with Death Trooper. Now, I may get in trouble for this one, and I think probably some of you guys love Death Trooper. He was the first character to deliver Death Mark in the game. Came out with Krennic, who we're about to take a look at here. Does find his way like into a Dark Trooper Moff Gideon team. That's kind of where he goes in the game right now. But again, that team's not real dangerous anymore. It was a short-lived, you know, arena adventure for Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. Death Trooper is just kind of an old school character that fills some spots and doesn't do a lot. And I'm going to say this is so Death Trooper Bananakin. I'm just not really thrilled. I don't know if we're going to get any poodoo here at all. But I will say this. Director Krennic has gotten a recent update to work with the ISC, whatever the Imperial team is with Andor that we're working on right now. And if that update did not come, he would be sitting right here in Poodoo. He really would. He's required for Sith Eternal, who's not our best galactic legend. He doesn't really do anything in the game. It's been a long time since anybody used Krennic for anything useful in the game. I'm going to put him in Bananakin for now, and we'll have to see how this rework works out. You know, I know everybody gets excited about reworks. I'm not ready to put anything major on it. Now, I also would not put it past Capital Games to put Director Krennic into a raid here, you know, later this year. We'll see what happens there. And by the way, if you're watching this later and he's in a raid and I called it, I mean, I could see like a Scarif raid. Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be fun. And you could have Mando in a Scarif raid. Anyway, I don't know, I'm babbling now, but we'll see how the rework works out, but we don't have any exposure to it yet, and it's going to be 3 months before we do at the time of recording. I'm putting him in Bananakin. If he hadn't gotten the rework, he'd be Poodoo. There's your disguised clone trooper admiral status for all the clone troopers. I'm not moving them off of there. Again, they are part of the most important team and a big raid team right now in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. Gar Saxon. Now, Gar Saxon and Imperial Super Commando traditionally have gone with Maul. I've also found use for them in the Forest Moon Assault Battle. There's videos out there and that you guys could go watch it. Min-maxing Forest Moon. He's got to be in the middle here. I wonder, now that we are getting all these Lightspeed tokens, if Gar Saxon's usefulness is fading. His ship, the Gauntlet, doesn't really do a lot in the game. I'm not going to drop him down to Bananakin. I'm going to put him down low level in this Princess General, you know, kind of that middle tier right now is where I'm going to put Gar Saxon. He could climb higher. You know, that Mandalorian team is still going to be useful to people that don't have the Stranger, but it's only a 3v3 team, and it's kind of a pick your spot. Maybe if you've got it down in a Rhodium or something, you're using it every round of Grand Arena. At the highest tiers of the game, it's not being used very much in Grand Arena these days, so he goes down there. General Veers. This is a guy, you guys know that I loved me some Imperial Troopers with General Veers for a long, long time. But again, here we are. We are now being given Inquisitors at the start of this game, and they are Empire, and they can run the Forest Moon. We're running tests on that. We're figuring out how that goes. I still think the Imperial Troopers are better in Forest Moon, even with Gar Saxon, and I think the Imperial Troopers have a place in the game. I'm going to put General Veers up here, you know, top of the bottom of Princess General tier or whatever. Iden Versio. Now, Iden Versio has a really important ship for the Empire that, you know, that TIE Defender is super important. Her team has faded over time. I still think she belongs in this Princess General tier. We'll kind of have to feel out where she fits in this tier as we go along here. Her team, you put it on defense, it doesn't do a lot. Let me take that back. Her team on defense against the wrong matchup. If you put the wrong matchup against Iden, you will never beat her on defense. You put Wampa out there, you can pretty much beat her most of the time unless she's got the Scout Trooper. Just FYI, guys, a Scout Trooper does not prevent Wampa from beating Iden Versio. Those of you who think so are misinformed unless you got like a Relic 10 Scout Trooper or something. I don't know. But Iden Versio, kind of cool. Not really performing a lot in the game right now. I'm going to put Super Commando down here with Gar Saxon. I'm going to slide him in behind him a little bit there. I probably should do this the other way here. Let's bring Gar Saxon here, slide Commando here. And we will put Gar Saxon in front of him like that. There we go. Imperial Super Commando goes with Gar Saxon. There's no getting around that. There's no other place for him to go in the game. They pilot the gauntlet. I already mentioned earlier about the Mandalorians. Let's get into our Inquisitors. They are coming our way right now. And this is... Oh, shoot. Hold on. Okay, this is Second Sister. Okay. This is a mess. They're all here. Okay, Inquisitors. There they are. You can see them all. All the Inquisitors are out in the open now. Okay, Second Sister. Second Sister pilots the TIE Interceptor. Has traditionally not been included as part of any Inquisitor team once the Grand Inquisitor came out. But now we've seen some resurrection with that Barriss Offee team. I actually had the Stranger lose to a Barriss Offee Second Sister team here recently. But I'm going to put them, I think they're all going to belong. I think we're going to do this. We're just going to group these guys together for the most part. I'm going to take the Inquisitors. I'm even going to put Barriss here. I don't know where exactly she's going to go. I wonder if this is going to overlap the wrong way. Yeah, I'm going the wrong direction here. I'm going to leave it for now. When I build this graphic, I'll put them there different. Maybe I can do it this way. Let's see. Okay, behind there, looks like, yeah, okay. I'm going to put all these guys up here in this range. Even Grand Inquisitor, I think, goes in this Princess General. Maybe he should go higher, but we're just going to group all the Inquisitors together here until we get to a certain point. There we go, under there. This is important. You gotta get the right people under and the right people over, or bad stuff happens. Ninth Sister goes under here, and yeah, there we go, like that. And then Barriss Offee Inquisitor goes under that. So I think all the Inquisitors go here. We may be starting to see some action with the Barriss Offee 3v3 Inquisitor team that may elevate that team, but for the most part, they fit here in the middle. But Reva herself, the third sister, goes here in the Admiral tier. She can do a lot of really good stuff in this game. I'm going to move her down a little bit to leave more room for clones. She can do a lot of really good stuff in the game. She counters a lot of teams with the right datacron. She can be really hard to kill. She takes those Inquisitors right below her and elevates them to a level they would never achieve without Reva on the team. She screams and yells. A lot. She shakes her fist at Obi-Wan Kenobi, but she's really mad at Darth Vader. She's got issues. We don't know what's going on with Reva, but as far as in the game, she's a tremendous character. You unlock her on rote. You got to get your whole guild to cooperate to get her unlocked over time. She takes over the leadership of the main Inquisitor team, and she is a bomber, absolutely. And then Lord Vader. Ooh, we might have a Poodoo here. I don't know. Maybe coming up shortly. Lord Vader, absolutely the best Empire character in the game. He gets kind of a bad rap. You know, he's called Lord Failure and everything. Normally, there are datacrons out that fuel Lord Vader with extra protection, extra health, extra damage, whatever it needs to be. And can really make. There's a great one out right now. There is a rare occasion where Lord Vader isn't lifted by a good datacron. His clones have made him better, if not, still not, you know, amazing. He is like a mid-tier galactic legend. He's probably one of the last galactic legends you should farm because he's just really expensive to get. But Lord Vader does some really, really nice things across all game modes. He is a galactic legend in the truest sense of the word, especially with his clones. He belongs in unlimited power. Let's hear about it. That's right. I don't remember which the background music is. We're getting back. All right, so Magma Trooper. This guy... I'm going Poodoo. I'm going Poodoo. Look, every now and then, his basic, I think, gives some turn meter, or gives him turn meter. Every now and then, somebody comes out with some crazy Magma Trooper team, and whoa, look, they can kill this because he gets all this limitless turn meter, and blah, 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 blah. And then he goes back to the scrap heap like a week later because somebody discovers, well, I gotta put this one character in there, and then that's useless and doesn't matter, and everybody just moves along and forgets about Magma Trooper. Magma Trooper, Poodoo, might be the only one down there these days. I don't know, we'll have to see how that works out. But really, there's just no place for Magma Trooper in the game. I even tested this out. I tried farming him with an Iden Versio team early on in one of my my Lord Vader test account. It just wasn't great. It just wasn't very good. Magma Trooper, Poodoo, absolute Poodoo. Mara Jade, I'm putting her in Admiral. You know, she doesn't have a ship or anything, which I would love to see her with a ship here. Maybe a little more Jedi Knight Luke action going. I'd like to apologize to the censors. I don't know what I just said there. Look, She, with a Palpatine lead, in Territory Wars, she gives Palpatine a bonus turn at the beginning, or extra turn, or whatever it is. And the two of them, with all the debuffs they throw out, and the stuns and everything else, they just lock up the other team with stuns, and then they just absolutely fuel your team's turn meter with shock and with stuns and with debuffs and dazes and all that stuff. I think dazes, right? She has an AoE shock that under a Palpatine lead is redonkulous. So now this is where I think, we could later see, Lord Vader, Broken Helmet, whatever. Broken Helmet of Mambrino. Name that musical. That could go up here, but I'm putting Mara Jade in the Admiral slot. She really elevates a Palpatine team a lot. I'm going to bring in Gideon down here with the troopers. Gideon has some one-off uses. He's kind of a unique and interesting character in the game. We've all heard of the Gidme team, where he comes out, does a special, strips all the turn meter over there, gives all your supports, whether they're Imperial Troopers, Dark Side, Light Side, all your supports get bonus protection or protection up or whatever it is. On a Padme team, that gives them a lot of extra bonus damage from courage. That's where he kind of ends up more than anywhere else these days. I like his kit a lot. He ends up just being kind of thrown onto a Dark Trooper Moff Gideon team as an afterthought, and then just doesn't... I feel like he has the ability to be used more in the game. Maybe with Mando coming out, we'll see some more stuff going on with Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. I'm putting Palpatine in the Admiral slot. Now, Palpatine has to have the right team behind him, the right team around him. He leads that early Starkiller team with Mara Jade. She and him work well together, as I already mentioned. He's got to have the right pieces around him as a leader. But when he's got those right pieces, forget about it. It's amazing, especially, like I said, those early Starkiller teams. And we'll see what happens with Broken Helmet Vader here on that Palpatine, that 5v5 Palpatine team pretty soon. The other thing about Palpatine is he's an easy unlock early. You get a Lightspeed token for him now. He's a part of the Sith Eternal farm and the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren farm. Don't think he's anywhere else. But those are, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren still holds value today. We've ranked the Galactic Legends many times. He always ends up in the top 3. So I like Palpatine both as a character, a leader for the Empire, and what he does as far as farming value in the game. Imperial Probe Droid, again, last week would have been in Poodoo. There's been a rework, and some of this rework is kind of lighting a lot of you guys up at the moment. We just went through the Rise of the Empire territory battles, whatever it's called. And Probe Droid is out there in the oh no, I forgot the planet. My brain is failing me. In the planet where you gotta go Seer Junda and Cal Kestis. It's Braca, and you're trying to open up Zepho, right? And my guild didn't do it. So enough people failed on that this time, and we always do it, by the way. We always do it. So my guild failed at that, and Probe Droid got a rework. It seems like it's going to be problematic, and Capital Games is going to have to address that issue on that territory battle node. But it still remains to be seen until the ISC, ISB, ISD, whatever characters are released with the Probe Droid in there. He beat Poodoo last week. I'm putting in Anakin. Him and Krennic got the reworks to work with that team. We'll see how that works out for us. We'll see how it works out. Range Trooper. I'm gonna put Range Trooper in here with let's start overlapping these Imperial Troopers a little bit here. So I think Range Trooper goes in here with these Imperial Troopers. Range Trooper is a really important part of almost any Veers Trooper team or Iden Versio Trooper team. So you can't really take him out of this level. He gives all the protection up on the team, recovers protection on the team, calls and assists. Range Trooper is a really integral part of any Imperial Trooper team that's going to work for you. Although with Relic Delta being what it is, it's kind of hard to get those teams just aren't what they used to be, 4 months ago. But still, he fits in that team, and he's an important piece in that team. This is a tough one for me. Royal Guard. Royal Guard. I'll say this up front because I think I know what I'm going to do with him. I like Royal Guard's kit. Royal Guard adds like truckloads of health or protection. I can't, one or the other, which used to be under a Lord Vader lead and made him a huge, like a difficult tank. He seems to have a cool kit and seems to have stuff that's fun in there. he just kind of ends up on the sidelines most of the time. I mean, it makes sense. He's, you know, kind of a smaller character in the scope of things as far as lore. I feel like Royal Guard has the opportunity and the kit to be like a really good tank in this game. It just doesn't ever quite mesh well enough with other Empire teams to get it, or Sith teams to get it working right. And maybe I'm wrong. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm open to being wrong about Royal Guard. I just don't see it out there. I just don't see it. Let's as we move toward our next clone trooper, Scorch. We're gonna bring him over here, and as I mentioned, he goes in the Admiral section because all the clone troopers are going, all the dark side clone troopers are going there because they all belong with Lord Vader. Yada yada yada. Scorch is a great tank, and with Tarkin, if you take Scorch to Relic 9 and Tarkin to Relic 9, just those two characters can take care of the final tier of the Order 66 raid. So Scorch is really, really good in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. These are great tank on that with Tarkin or with Lord Vader or wherever he goes. Well, just basically with those two, actually. Scout Trooper. Scout Trooper's gonna go in here, and I'm gonna put it more here with the Dark Trooper Moff Gideon range. Let's move Iden over a little bit like this. Move Dark Trooper Moff Gideon over. And Scout Trooper here, because Scout Trooper kind of goes with both of them, actually, when I really look at it. And maybe Moff Gideon comes over here like that. We put this here. We move stuff around. You know, we're trying to make things happen. But Scout Trooper, that's who we're talking about now, is hidden behind Iden and Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. Required for Leia Organa, and it's a she. Nobody knows why. I guess Battlefront did it first. I don't know. I distinctly remember in Return of the Jedi, Han hits the Scout Trooper with a log, and the dude goes, "Argh!" But you know, whatever. A good character, a good fit on a lot of Imperial Trooper teams. Can go on an Imperial Remnant team with Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, or an Imperial Remnant team with Captain Enoch. Can go on an Iden Versio team. Can fit on a Trooper team. Can go on just very versatile as an Imperial Trooper in an Empire. You know, doing some okay stuff with the kit, but just very, very versatile in general. Shore Trooper. This is another tough one. I really like, in fact, I'm gonna put it right here. I think Shore Trooper's kit is better than Royal Guard's, and Shore Trooper, because Shore Trooper has that Imperial Trooper tag, does end up on some Imperial Trooper teams. So I'm gonna put Shore Trooper right there with General Veers. You don't see it a lot. I wouldn't say it's a common occurrence to see Shore Trooper out there on a team, but the pre-taunt, the thing Shore Trooper does, the crit hit immunity, the healing. Shore Trooper's a really good character and a really good tank in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. Just maybe a little bit underutilized. Snow Trooper. We may have another one here. I'm going Bananakin. And here's why. No, I'm not. I'm going Poodoo. 4 months ago, I would go Bananakin. Right now, Shore Trooper has no home. Shore Trooper is easily unlocked, right? You can easily get Shore Trooper to 7 stars, unlock it with your Mark 1 raid currency, super easy peasy, whatever. Then you can get, you know, geared up to a lower gear level, use it with a Veers and Piet team. Veers, Piet, and you can use it in early round. There's belts there, sorry if that came through. In situations for them on Rebel Roundup and also in Forest Moon, but really doesn't really serve much of a purpose on those teams. Kind of just an afterthought, just because it has the Imperial Trooper tag, gets used on those teams, and is previously Imperial Trooper tag, easy farm, throw it on the team to fill the team out and get to like Mythic Tier 1 or Challenge Tier 1, something like, or Mythic Tier or Challenge Tier 1 in an assault battle. Outside of that, didn't have much usage. Isn't really required for anything. And now that we got the Lightspeed tokens out and we got the Inquisitors there, there's just really no reason to go and farm the Snow Trooper these days. So Snow Trooper is going to be Poodoo these days. Stormtrooper. I'm bringing Stormtrooper here. Stormtrooper in the right situation and maybe this is why Royal Guard doesn't get used, because you've got Shore Trooper, who's a really good tank. You got Stormtrooper, who's a really good tank. Stormtrooper is a really good tank in the right situation with all sorts of extra health, some variance on damage, but I don't know if that means anything. Can extra protection or whatever. I think you might have for protection. It's been a little while. Yeah, but a lot of defense on Stormtrooper, and it can't shoot anything. It misses all the time, but you know, on the right team, in the right situation, and can be plugged and played into a lot of different teams, again, can be a really, really good tank, or a very, I should say really, really good, an effective tank in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. So I'm putting Stormtrooper here in the Princess General section. Grand Moff Tarkin. Grand Moff Tarkin. I'll be the first to say, I love, love, love the rework that he got about a year ago, year and a half ago, well, no, like 10 months ago, when the clones came out and he was part of Order 66 raid, and the amount of AoE damage he does now, he was basically unusable except with the Executrix for years and years and years. I really like his rework. I think he belongs at a high Princess General. I don't think he belongs at the Admiral tier. You could argue for him just because he's so important to the raid. He's required for the raid, and he does, you know, he's the guy that does a lot of heavy lifting in the raid with Scorch, as you mentioned, and he goes with those clone troopers. In fact, let me do this. I'm gonna bring Dark Trooper down here with the Imperial troopers, and I'm gonna move Tarkin up. He belongs at the top part of this section, but I just can't put him in the Admiral section. He says too many times where his character goes unused or the Executrix goes unused as well. Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now he's got that Chimera, which is kind of faded here lately. Grand Admiral Thrawn for 7 years was a fixture in this, 5, 6 years, whatever. He was on every single meta team for 5+ years in this game. And I kid you not. He was on the General Kenobi lead with Nyla's team. He was on the Darth Revan team. He was on the Jedinet Revan team. You'd put him on a CLS team. Any team you had out there would have Thrawn in it because he fractured, and Fracture was completely overpowered. They nerfed that in 2020, along with the Darth Vader nerf to account because he was going to be too powerful with Lord Vader. And now he's kind of at the bottom of this tier. He belongs down here at the bottom of this middle tier. He's not Bananakin by any means, but you just don't find that many uses for him. You got to pick your spots with Thrawn. The AI, I'm gonna tell you right now, if Thrawn is on the field and you don't have a tank or a taunt, the AI is going directly after him. I don't care who else is on the field with him. He will be targeted immediately by the AI. So just be aware of that if you put him on the field without anybody else taunting, okay? He just belongs here. He's got uses. That's all I can say. TIE Fighter Pilot. I think I'm going to put that with Thrawn. TIE Fighter Pilot, you know, the character doesn't get a lot of use in the game. It's not a super useful character. You could go with an Imperial Remnant team, I guess. The TIE Fighter, though, has its uses, both with the Executrix and Chimera, and farming the Finalizer and farming the Executor. So TIE Fighter Pilot has its place in the game. Not really exciting as a character, but the ship has a lot of uses. Admiral Piet. I'm going to Admiral. I'm going to Admiral here. The leader of the Executor, which is still one of the premier fleets in the game. Whatever you do, they're going to launch a ship this year that'll re-elevate the Executor, or whatever. We don't know. Still one of the 3 premier ships in the game. You put him onto any Empire squad. He elevates that Empire squad with the Emperor's Trap and well, what's the other thing he puts? Whatever the stuff he does a lot for an Empire squad. He makes an Imperial Trooper squad useful where they would not be useful without him. You know, he makes that Imperial Trooper squad go. Which isn't that exciting, but he is an actual admiral. He does command one of the most important fleets in the game. He is needed for Sith Eternal. That's it, right? Yeah. I don't think he's needed for Lord Vader, right? I like Admiral Piet a lot. I'm a huge fan of Admiral Piet. I'm putting him in Admiral. You could argue against that, I think, but that's where I'm sticking the guy. Here's Apple, another clone to go with our clone team here in the Admiral section. Let's separate Piet a little bit. I want him kind of standing on his own. All by myself, Colonel Stark. Bananakin is Colonel Stark. There was a day in the game. There was a time and day in this game where Colonel Stark would have been absolutely in that Princess General tier. Before Admiral Piet came out, he was the engine for the Imperial Troopers. You would make him the fastest Imperial Trooper. He would go with his second ability or third ability, I don't remember which one it is, and it would give 2 buffs to the whole team. That's 20% turn meter, and he would get the Imperial Troopers on their way to making things happen. As it is now, He's easy to farm and unlock, but we've already mentioned the troubles of why that's not as valuable as it used to be with Snowtrooper. And he can go on an Imperial Trooper team. He's fine. He does some okay stuff there. Do you really need him? You can find other pieces to plug into the Imperial Trooper team. He's not all that exciting in the game anymore, even though he's not the worst character in the game. Yeah, he's Bananakin. He's Bananakin. And there you go. That is your Empire tiers, ranking the Empire in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Let me know what you think. I think there's some places where we could maybe argue. I think you can argue about Tarkin, maybe Broken Helmet, Darth Vader, Palpatine, Mara Jade, Piet. I think we can have arguments about, but I just think I believe this is where everybody belongs on this tier list. Everybody, I will put a link to the graphic down below as well. Have a good day. Talk to you soon. Always remember, Nooch too good.